Trying to understand what Elden Ring Nightreign actually is from the very start isn't that easy. It looks like Limgrave, but the world is wrapped in mystery. What is that bright blue fog closing in? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? As dangerous as this place is, there is still a familiarity to it, and after a few runs, it all starts to become clear. FromSoft has managed to throw all these crazy ideas at the wall, and they have all stuck. You think you might be done with this series, and the developers have found a way to drag you back in. So what is Elden Ring Nightreign? Firstly, you pick a pre-made character, or Nightfarer, from 8 different classes. The chances of finding one that matches your playstyle is highly probable. Each one comes with a unique skill set and a special power that can be used once it's built up. My personal favourite was Eye, a ranged hunter who uses his bow to destroy enemies. His ultimate art is a sonic arrow that deals significant damage to opponents, especially at higher levels. His passive gets you more item drops, and his agility is vital in a fight. Once you've picked your Nightfarer at the round table hold, you enter a match solo or with 2 other players. If you go in solo, enemies bear the same difficulty as if you're going in as a threesome. Elden Ring Nightreign is meant to be played in threes, not just as far as the difficulty goes, but in the way different Nightfarers work together for better results. The raider summons a huge tombstone from the ground, which not only damages the enemy but can be climbed on, and as I'm able to get on top of that for a better vantage point with my bow. It all takes place over 3 days, and at the end of day 1 you'll have to fight the main boss. Once killed, you start day 2 and the process begins all over again. However, there are certain changes. I don't really want to ruin too much for you, but when you see dragon-like icons appear on the map, some new bosses will take everything you have to destroy them. If you survive the boss at the end of day 2, then it's time to move on to the final boss, the boss that you are actually hunting as part of this mission. Deep breath, dig deep, do what you must. They are, without a doubt, some of the hardest enemies I've faced in Elden Ring, and doing so with others makes them no easier. Playing in threes is all about working together, not just by firing off my arrows or spells or swinging blades and axes in tandem. It's about synergizing your passives, character skills and ultimate arts to get the most out of any situation. It takes time to find out what works best, and playing with people you know is much more exciting. Regardless, teamwork is so important, and these bosses are relentless. Whether you beat the boss or not, you return to the round table hold. Here you can lock the relics you've earned to your Nightfarer to provide permanent buffs. There's a practice area to brush up on how all of a Nightfarer's skills work, buy new emotes and short dialogue interactions, and also learn more about the character's stories and lore. When you're ready to go again, commence an expedition and go back to beat the boss you failed to destroy, or face a new threat tougher than the last one. It's part Fortnite, part roguelike, all the while stripping back core elements from Elden Ring and making it feel streamlined in the process. There's no full damage, so you can launch yourself off of high cliffs without dying. Running around the map doesn't deplete your stamina. Leveling up improves your health, mana and stamina at the same time, so you don't have to decide where points go. All of the things that made Elden Ring more of a challenge, more of a risk, have been made more accessible. But that doesn't mean it's actually any easier. No, it just means your focus changes. With having these restrictions about traversal removed, your objective remains on exploring as much as you can before the night's tide arrives. A blue foggy ring begins to close in, and you have to escape it or else death will come calling. Like the storm in a battle royale in Fortnite, you will lose health and end up dying. The only difference is death comes much quicker. It adds a threat outside of surviving those bosses and enemies, but it also moves you away from whatever you're doing at the time. There were times when I was halfway through a boss's health only to have to leave my potential spoils in an effort to survive. It's intense as much as it is frustrating. While you can jump off cliffs to the lowest part of the map, the night's tide can cover the map and leave you unable to climb back up. When you're fighting for your life only to get stuck between a rock and a deadly cloud, it hurts to see the "you died" pop up on the screen, and if you do die, you'll lose a level. The difficulty becomes almost unbearable, so having as many levels under your belt as you can is vital. Sites of grace are everywhere, so those hard-earned runes from killing enemies can be used to up your level. Churches contain an extra charge for your health flasks. Castles contain bosses once you find them. Enemy camps might contain key items. Outside of all the structures around the world, random encounters happen all the time. This uncanny valley version of a familiar location features world events, switches in the locations of buildings, and fights that come out of nowhere. It's a fascinating place, albeit one that's brutal and unforgiving. Another key part of Elden Ring Nightreign is your arsenal. Finding better weapons is exciting, like Diablo or Borderlands. There's no better feeling than finding a weapon more powerful than the last. Not only that, but certain skills, elemental damages, or buffs are locked to them. You can equip 6 at any one time, and while your character will perform better with the weapons they're more familiar with, you can use any weapon you find. It's just another factor of its deep gameplay that makes runs more thrilling. Elden Ring Nightreign is a fascinating game. Once you understand how everything works, it is utterly engrossing. The intensity of fights are at an all-time high. During the day, the difficulty doesn't even feel that challenging, but those final bosses are so destructive and dangerous. Learning your Nightfarer of choice and going in with others to work as a team is a great feeling. Having to beat them with your weapons to bring them back to life is a neat twist on that, and one that becomes tougher with each fall to their knees. And yes, despite there being the odd frame rate drop, this is an excellent video game, which is why we're giving it a 9 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed Chris White's review of Elden Ring Nightreign there, but the single most important thing you can do if you did enjoy it is to go over to patreon.com/lootlevelchill. We are an independent website that likes to cover games from these huge ones like this to the smallest of indies. We like to do our regular podcast and we like to cover everything across the industry. Again, thank you very much if you do subscribe, we really appreciate it, but the biggest thing you can do is help us financially by going to patreon.com/lootlevelchill. Thanks and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.